Tyler, what's up? How's your week? I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad it's Friday. I actually have a 4-day weekend this week. But how are you doing? How's your week? Back to work? No, you never told me you worked at a casino. That's interesting. Is it fun? Do you enjoy it? What exactly do you do? Do you run counters? Do you fix machines? I'm glad you're back to work though. Clean kitchens, that's fair. Hey, I'm sure you make those kitchens spotless. But also, I don't know if I did I tell you the last week that a couple of the subs seem to enjoy an every Friday stream, so that's kind of what I'm doing now. It kind of seems to fit how people enjoy it, so that's what I've been doing. Cool, cool. Honestly, I didn't even try to pick Friday. It just seemed to work in my schedule, and people seem to enjoy it. So that's what I started to do. Um, and I couldn't figure out what to talk about tonight, so I figured I went with let's talk about some songs that weren't played very much through their history. Hopefully we get some more people in here to join the conversation, but that's what I figured we talk about this week, and then maybe next week we talk about the most played, and then maybe kind of some in the middle. And I'm going with for sure confirmed, songs that we know were played. I know it says that Sticking Around was played, but I don't know for sure if that was true. I don't have anything to really confirm that, so I'm just going off of basically songs that we know for sure were played on their history. Like it says it was played 15 or so times. What's up, Charlie? But that song and there's a couple others on the list that I wasn't for sure. I didn't want to talk about them because one, nobody's got audio of it to prove it. So I'm just going off of the list that have up on the screen now. What's up, Charlie? Hope your week was good. Um, I don't know if you saw the title, but when we get maybe Case or someone else in here, We're going to talk about some songs that weren't played live a whole lot through their history. We'll go with, we'll just talk about each one, or, what's surprising, what's not surprising, what should have been played, things like that. It took me like all day to figure out what to talk about tonight. And I figured we would do something like this. Oh, Tyler, I forgot all about that. That's not on the list, but that can be added at some point. We can talk about it because that was only played, what, once, I believe, in 2001. I don't think Bon ever sang it, right? Let's see if we can't get Case in here. I don't know, probably Mr. Kulash. I'm sure he would show up at some point tonight. Hopefully some new viewers would be nice, but I'm fine with you guys, because you guys are the most active in the chat, so that's what I thought. I must have completely overlooked Ride On. Kind of shows you what kind of week it's been for me. Charlie, we don't think so. I think that was the only time that was played live. But we can start with Ride On. Why don't we just start with Ride On while we're on the topic of it? Do you believe it should have been played? Do you think it should have been played more than once, or are you okay with playing it once and leaving it alone? I mean, it would be an easy song for Brian to sing even now. It's not there's not very high notes. He can almost naturally sing with that song for the most part. But if they ever did add it back in, I would prefer to have it played like kind of a riffraff as that now. I don't want I didn't like when they played it after for this about the Rock. Because in my opinion, I think that song, once that song's played, like that's the best closer. Just like they did in Munich, they played "Shot Down in Flames" at the after it, or in Circus Crown in '03, they played a whole lot of Rosie after it. Charlie, they played 2 nights in San Francisco, or 2 days in San Francisco, according to some of the set list ones. I'm pretty sure, according to some research I did, I think they played San Francisco both September 2nd and September 3rd of '77. Let me just double check because I just want to make sure. So yeah, they played September 2nd in San Francisco, and September 3rd. They played both Kicked in the Teeth and Up to My Neck in You both nights. I wish we had the September 2nd recording, because it's the same. It was the same set list that they played. Um, but again, without us having audio of it, I believe it, but I want like for sure certainty. But they like I said, they played Kicked in the Teeth and Up to My Neck and You, both dates at in San Francisco. And- Which means when you look at Up to My Neck and You, that means Brian sang it 14 times during 2001 compared to Bonds twice. Yes, Charlie. Yes, a set list from December. Let me just look at let me. I got some set lists pulled up here, Tyler. Let me pull that up real quick. Let me just be nosy and see what happens. See if I can't find any info. Tyler, you're right. You're right. December 19th, 1977, in the Capitol Center, Landover, Maryland, U.S. They played Livewire, Problem Child, High Voltage, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, Let There Be Rock, The Jack, Whole Lotta Rosie, Rocker, and they closed with Rock and Roll Damnation. That would be interesting to hear an early version of it. See, that's why you're a legend. I just did some research. I mean, I just did some quick things, and yeah, they closed with Rock and Roll Damnation, the live debut in '77. That would be interesting to hear, and an early version. Right, because a lot of times, during Bond's era tours, they closed with or got closer to the end with Let There Be Rock. But that's in the middle. Is there anything else surprising in '77 while I got it up? They played It's a Long Way to the Top once. Oh, that's in Haymarket. Um, no, nothing really else stands out to me in '77. Yeah, but Rock and Roll Damnation. Hmm. September 16th. What show was that? I don't remember dates anymore. It's so sad. Oribo. I don't think I've uploaded that one yet. Let me look, Tyler. This is some. See, this is why you guys are good. Um, it doesn't have it in '78. I don't see Give Me a Bullet played, but that doesn't mean you're wrong. It just may not be in the, you know, the statistics. They did play It's a Long Way to the Top once in '78, apparently. Charlie, wait, what? You have Give Me a Bullet on your channel? Oh, Ori bro, you probably mean. Um, Set list, are they reliable? That's the only problem. I don't know if they're reliable or not. I mean, they sound good, but I can't guarantee. Let me see if this has it. I just want to make sure this, because if two sources have it, then more than likely it's probably true. July 23rd of '78 in Oakland. See, now this source says it wasn't played. See, this is the problem. Nobody really knows. what was played, what wasn't. But anyway, one thing I want to point out, isn't it wild to you that what? May 29th? Okay, May 29th, 78. Let me look that up. What? It was. Holy shit. Okay, the boot exists. Okay, someone's got to find this. Apparently, there's a note under the set list that says the bootleg exists. Well, where the hell is it? Because I would love to hear that. Yeah, it was on that day you're talking about, Tyler, May 29th, 1978. It was Riff Raff, Problem Child, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, Gimme a Bullet, Bad Boy, Doggy Dog, The Jack, High Voltage, Hola Rosie, Let It Be Rock, Rocker. So he played 2 songs off of Power Age that night. You're probably right. But apparently it exists somewhere. I don't know where, but apparently it exists, is what the note says under this. It's crazy. And I always heard a rumor that it was a sound check for the Apollo April 30th show. Can you confirm or deny that one? Or it was played at the very end of the show? Apparently, it says here, according to the Apollo's website, it was played. So they must have played Gimme a Bullet at least one more time. They had to have played it at least twice, but who knows how many times they played it, and we just don't know. But apparently it was played after Rocker at Apollo Glasgow of the Let There Be the If You Want Blood live album. It's crazy. Is that why they added him to Cold Hearted Man? Leroy Kincaid? Is that why they put that name in Cold Hearted Man? That's also good. I know they lip sang it in 1980 before Bond died. They played it with Axl 3 times in 16. They, what's also interesting is they played Riff Raff 8 times in 79, according to this. But what's even more interesting on the whole song played live in 79, Bad Boy Boogie was apparently played the most, with 145 times, which is 3 times more than Livewire. Because at least some of the shows were opened by Riff Raff. I have one of those on the channel. But anyway, one thing I do want to point out that is on the left side. Isn't it crazy how Shot in the Dark and Demon Fire have already been played more times than most of the songs above it? I mean, it's not surprising, but yes, October 30th, 79, you're right. Charlie, yeah, because Rocker was played 143, Rosie was played 138. TNT was only played 14 times, Riff Raff 8, Baby Please Don't Go once, It's a Long Way to the Top once. But the fact that Shot in the Dark and Demon Fire have been played more than one of my favorite songs is crazy. You know, I would have loved to see Satellite Blues longer in the Stiff Upper Lip show, the set list. Bedlam and like all the Flick of the Switch songs, most of them should have just stayed in the set list. Like Bedlam in Belgium, Landslide, Badlands, Rising Power, they all should have stayed. But the only things that they really kept were Guns for Hire and Flick of the Switch. I mean, This House is on Fire really wasn't played that much. Let me check that out. May 24th and 25th, 1979. I'm kind of curious now to see what they played. May 24th, Atlanta. They played Livewire, Shot Down in Flames, Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, Sin City, Doggy Dog, Walk All Over You, Bad Boy, The Jack Highway, Dirty Deeds, Girls Got Rhythm, High Voltage, Rosie, Rocker, TNT, Let There Be Rock. That is a long set list for a Bon Air show. The 25th, was it the same? 25th added two more songs. Wow. The night after, they played If You Want Blood. And what did they add? If You Want Blood and they added, that is a those are some pretty nice set lists. I wish some of these fucking whoops, sorry, I shouldn't swear. Um, I wish some of these set lists would show up. I apologize. My at home self, I don't have a filter, so I apologize if people that if sometimes things slip. I don't try, but that's just how I am, you know, at home. But anyway, those set lists are crazy. Yeah, that's the website I use a lot for looking up set lists. I wish some of this stuff would surface up. Another show I want to talk about that I'm really intrigued and I wish it would show up one day um, is, let me find the date. It is, but at least we heard it. At least we have Brian singing it, at least. But one date I want to see that I'm intrigued which would show up is February 15th, 1991. The Omni in Atlanta is when they both played The Razor's Edge and Are You Ready in the same set. They played 22 songs that night. Are You Ready was actually played 15th right after High Voltage. I really would love to see that show up one day because then you got Razor's Edge and Are You Ready in the same set, which I think would be so cool. I wish they would have kept both of them together the whole way. Of course they do. They have the 16th. What was the 16th state? I don't even know if I have that one. Charlotte. Let me look if I even have that one. I have to have that one, right? Of course I do. I only have 4 February 91 dates. So, if they got the 16th, it's pretty plausible the 15th out there somewhere. Yeah, I do. I did just check my audio list. I do have the Charlotte show. I only have like I said, 4 February shows of '91, and that would have been New Orleans, Little Rock, which is only half the show. I don't have the first part of Little Rock. I don't think. Charlotte and Miami. What else is surprising to either of you? On the most of the songs play under 50 times, really, which is still very minimal when you think of how long their history was and how many tours and how many shows they played. Of course, Shot in the Dark and Demon Fire are yet to go up, I'm sure. See, I saw that. Shake a Leg, I saw for sure. If you let me put my love, I definitely saw earlier today when I was kind of looking some of this stuff up, which is wild to me that that song was actually played. I forget where I saw it now. There it is. It was apparently played in Netherlands, July 4th of 1980, apparently. And it was all four promotional videos, is what it says, when they recorded the Back in Black videos. Yeah, maybe we get another song to add that's played live for the first time. Um, who knows? Maybe Demon Fire takes a break and they add something else and Shot in the Dark continues. Or it'd be nice if they didn't take either of them out and they just added another new track. But again, keep extending the set list. Could be good or bad depending on how you look at it for them. And I only have half of them. I have 4 out of the 8. I'm sure you do too. Um, but yeah, I only have 4 of those recordings that exist apparently. No, Evil Walks was never played. The only songs from For Those About to Rock were played were For Those About to Rock, obviously. COD, Inject the Venom, Let's Get It Up, I Put the Finger on You. Like the Yeah, they played Let's Get It Up, Inject the Venom, COD. Apparently it was, but we only have one recording of it. Inject the Venom was played 13 times apparently, and the only recording that we have was the last night that it was quote unquote played in Detroit. It was first played, hypothetically, September 29th, 1981, which I'm curious to see what that set list was. It was an 18-song set list. It was the opening night, I guess, of the For Those About to Rock tour, I guess. It was. It was the first night. Down Payment Blues with Bond. I only know of two, and we have the two. Both of us have the two that were played. With Bond in 1978, it was played 24 times in the span from April 27th, 1978 to May 29th. So they only played it really in the month of May. And of course, they played it the day before the If You Want Blood live album was recorded. Why wouldn't it be played any more than that? And they also played it in Hammersmith in the 7th. Of course, it was the live debut of Riff Raff and Down Payment Blues when they first played it on April 27th. I guess, but yeah. And so they played it. So they played it 24 times with Bond, and they played it 23 times with Brian. So it's almost split half and half. And you're right, Tyler. He did play it very well. Um, but yeah, Brian sang it 23 times. So they almost split it like dead half and half, which is actually nice to see. Of course, he sang that song the day after the No Bull DVD was recorded. No shocker there. That all these songs that were played live, they don't record it. I think I have half. How many shows do I actually have that he sang Down Payment Blues? So I have 16 out of the 23. Fling thing? Let's take a look, Tyler. Let's take a look. Fling Thing was played 4 times, apparently. It was played April 30th, 1978 in Glasgow, October 26th, 1980 in Manchester, November 1st, 1980 in Glasgow, November 2nd, 1980 in Glasgow. And then Bonnie, I don't even know how to even find that statistic. Because I don't even think Bonnie is technically a song for me to actually look up those statistics. Oh, here it is. Yep, the Bonnie Banks O-Lock. Yep, here it is. So they played Bonnie 9 times in London, Glasgow, Scotland in the 80s. In the 90s, they played it once in 91 in Glasgow, 96 in Glasgow, 2000 in Glasgow, 2009, 2015 in Glasgow. So pretty much they played a Fling Thing and Bonnie in Glasgow, Scotland, for the most part in Scotland. 1982, yes, Edinburgh Playhouse. I also want to talk about one. I mean, it wasn't played rarely live because Bond played it pretty much every show, but I want to talk about it being played with Brian, and that's Livewire in '82. So Livewire, Brian sang it twice, apparently. Once October 9th in Glasgow, and the other one. See, this I need to look up on this other source to make sure this is actually true. Hold on one second. Because if this is true, this is crazy, in my opinion. Okay, so there's nothing here on the one source, but the other source has. It does. But Livewire, going back, they played it, the show that we all know. But apparently it was played at the Birmingham International Arena in England, September 29th, 1982, and this was the set list. They opened up with Livewire, which would have been crazy to hear. It was Livewire, Shot Down in Flames, Sin City, Shoot to Thrill, Back in Black, Bad Boy, Hell's Bells, Noise Pollution, Highway to Hell, Let's Get It Up, Dirty Deeds, Rosie, Let There Be Rock, You Shook Me, For Those About to Rock, and TNT. If they didn't play Hell, well, yeah, they did. They played Hell's Bells later. But if they actually opened up with Livewire in September 29th, 1982, that would have been cool to hear them open up. But Lucille they played once, as far as I know, in 1981, which we both have that. Wait, no, hold on a second. They actually played it a lot in '74. My bad. They played it 16 times apparently in '74. That was before they really got going. They played it once in '73. They played it once in 1981, according to this. And you can hear the version of Lucille either on me or Tyler's channel if you wanted to hear it. I'm sure both of us have it out there. I know I do. I'm sure Tyler does. Phil Carson, you're right, Charlie. You're exactly right. Phil Carson. Brian introduced Phil Carson up to the stage, and they played Lucille. That's right. From Atlantic Records. It was Tyler. This is why you're a legend. Your brain is better than me. January 25th, 1981. Yes. Now here's a song that wasn't played live. I want to see your opinions. Wasn't played live, but it was rehearsed. It was Nervous Shakedown. Do you wish they would have played Nervous Shakedown during the Flick of the Switch tour? I mean, they rehearsed it, so they were thinking about it, but they probably didn't think it would fit well. But the rehearsals is the closest thing we got to live hearing Nervous Shakedown. I agree with you. I would have loved to hear it too. But like I said, the rehearsal is the closest thing we have to a live version of it, which I'm still okay with. I mean, they almost played Flick of the Switch completely live, the whole album, other than maybe two tracks. I think Brain Shake and Deep in the Hole were the only two that weren't played. They pretty much played the rest of them. It does. I agree with you. I definitely agree with the fact that Deep in the Hole, like some of those songs that weren't like, for example, like Deep in the Hole, like no one ever talks about. You never hear someone bring that song up. And it's a shame because a lot of those songs that no one talks about are amazing. I mean, the whole album of Flick the Switch really is underrated as a whole, to be honest. Tyler, I just said that. See, we're both on the same page. Such a good album. But, how about Go Zone? Played only 8 times, which is still a lot. More than I originally thought that they played Go Zone. I only have two known recordings of it. And that is in Binghamton, New York, and in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And it was played 6 out of the 8 times in May, and 2 of them were in July, which is even more interesting. Oh, wow. That's a 20-song set list in 88 during July 26th. And July 27th, they played a 20-song set list. Because in both of those shows, they played Heat Seeker, Nick of Time Goes On, and That's the Way That I Want to Rock and Roll. They played all 4 of those songs in those 2 set lists. Yeah, I only know of 2 for sure. The rest of them, I want to check. I want to check the DC bootleg source, because they're pretty good at keeping things up to par. They don't have that set list or the 26th. So who knows if that's even true. Soul Stripper? Let's check. See, this is why I like to have these conversations. Any song that you're interested in, it doesn't have to go off the list. I just put some of the few that were played. So Charlie, they played it 20 times in 74, 52 times in 1976, and apparently 152 times during 1975. Allegedly. Like I said, this is all alleged, so I take this by a grain of salt. How many times do I have it played? Soul Stripper. I have at least once in '76 out of the shows I have. I think that might be like the only one. That and the Melbourne '74, the New Year's Eve one. I think those are the only two that I have that has Soul Stripper in it. You see, Tyler, that's another one because I've seen that they've played that live, but like I don't know if how much I trust it because they were played once in '74 in Melbourne, and they did a lot of covers that night. I think they only played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 out of the 16 songs that night. It was only theirs, and then they played it 10 times in '75, and most of it was all in Sydney. All of them was in Australia. They never played it anywhere else. '76? No, they didn't play You Ain't Gonna Hold On Me in '76. Unless you're talking about Soul Stripper. Kind of curious now what this 1975 set list looked like. A lot of covers still. They played Stick Around. See, Stick Around is one that. Um. Let me check, Charlie. Soul Stripper. Where is it at? 76. Was it the BBC? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't see it on there, Charlie. But Stick Around was one that I don't even know for like how much they actually, how true that was. What? They did 2 set lists in one night or something? Interesting. That is something I don't know, Tyler. That would have been like, there's probably no like for sure sources that would tell us if they did or not. That'd be cool though. I know they played early. I think. Hold on, let me look at my list real quick. Talking about who made who. Let me. They did play Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be, Dog Eat Dog, and Shaker Foundations in Kansas City of '86 at the Kemper Arena. And then they also did their outtakes or the rehearsals or whatever. I think they did Riff Raff, She's Got Balls, Dog Eat Dog, and Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be. Because I actually have that one uploaded, the rehearsals or whatever for the Who Made Who tour. And I haven't uploaded the Kansas City show yet because I kind of want to wait to upload all the August shows as much as I can. Because those ones are kind of the better quality ones. I want to try to get the September shows out of the way. But I also haven't done the Ballbreaker Nutcracker outtakes yet, which of course that's been out forever. Speaking of that, they rehearsed Burning Alive. They never played that song live. That'd been also another good one to hear. That's now, Tyler. Do you know what happened on that one? Like, do you remember like what happened during the show for that to happen? January 18th. I'm kind of curious to know what the date was on that now. Salt Lake City. It does say 3 fans died. That's a shame. Also, Tyler, speaking of kind of not bad things, but do you have? I know I came across it and I was able to receive it. But do you have the 2 dates in '91 in San Francisco when Brian's yelling at fans, saying that they're like assholes or something, and he's like giving them hell before they played the Jack? I haven't uploaded either of those two shows yet, but when I heard that audio, I thought it was quite interesting. They threw shoes. Is there like now? Is there a video of that or just the audio? Because I have the two clips from both nights, but I wasn't sure like why he was upset. I don't have any context, so thanks for telling me that. It's also like in Phoenix in 2000 when a fan threw a beer or a drink at Angus and he took he's during Bad Boy Boogie and then he stopped and did whatever he did to that guy. Like you don't see a lot of negative fan interactions with them for the most part. Yeah, I don't know what Angus exactly did to him, but whatever he did, the fans loved it, obviously. Because when you're an asshole and you're throwing drinks at, you know, if not the best band in the world, in my opinion, why would you do something like that? I'll have to look at it then, Tyler. Like I said, I only have the audio of when Brian's yelling. I didn't know exactly what happened. Alright, we'll be here. Charlie and I will be here when you get back. Which one? Which one, Charlie? Are you talking about the San Francisco incident? So, apparently, thanks to Tyler, he filled me in on what exactly happened. So, apparently, in San Francisco, um, fans were throwing shoes or something at Brian, and I have the audio of Brian telling them pretty much to fuck off, you're assholes, we'll throw you out, type of deal. Um, and Brian was giving them hell for doing whatever the hell they were doing. So that's what happened in San Francisco, 1990. I don't have those shows uploaded yet. but I have the audio of Brian yelling both nights. Yeah, I didn't know that one either until I came across about a year or two ago. I was a person shared that audio with me, so now I have that also with the set list. Fresno 78. I don't know if I even have that show. Let me look. If I do, I don't think there's any audio of him doing anything to him. Oh, Fresno, yeah. I do have that, July 15th. I never heard about that one, Charlie. That's a new one for me. AC/DC for life. What's up? How's your week? Listen at the end. I will have to go back and listen to that closer. Since I have it, I think I have it uploaded. So I'll just have to go back and listen to the end of that. If it's even included into the audio that I have, I have to go back and look. That's great. I can see Angus doing that. Probably just like he did with Bad Boy Boogie in Phoenix. After that guy threw that drink at him, I'm sure he finished that song on a high note. Like kind of like a pissed off note, but like a good one. Was the guy clearly clueless of what Angus does during the solo, or did the guy think it was just dumb? Regardless, it doesn't make you give you the right to throw a drink at our best guitarist. Tyler, do you expect less from Brian? He always like says things funny, but it makes it even better in my opinion. He knows what he's trying to say, but he just fucks up because he's pissed off. I even do that. Like I can't even say words right when I'm upset. And conveniently enough, it was right after they played the Razor's Edge. I think. No, the Jack was played before the Razor's Edge. Right? Pretty sure. So what song did they play that was in between that? Oh, they don't even have a set list for it. Oh, there. So after they played Jailbreak, he was people were throwing shit. I wonder why people do the shit that they do. You know, like what makes people throw shoes and shit like on the stage? Were they just drunk and belligerent? Or did they not like something? But again, it doesn't give you the right to throw shit up on the stage. Probably. Like, but because how can you go to a DC concert and be pissed off? You know, like how can you be upset? Okay, granted, they're probably not going to play something you want to hear, but overall, you're not going to be that upset that you're going to throw shit. Like, granted, I haven't been to a show yet, but I'll be damned if I'm going to go to a DC show and be frustrated and upset that I'm there. Like, like if you didn't want to go in the first place, for one, thanks for giving us true fans in the band your money for going. But two, like why in the hell are you even there for that upset? For Life, I agree with you. I think Evil Walks would have been a good one. Um, Not many people like Spellbound, but I do, and I kind of think that'd be interesting to hear live. Breaking the Rules would have been cool too. But Evil Walks, yeah, they should have played that one. Oh, Tyler, I guarantee it. Like, I'm gonna be chills as soon as like Stevie starts playing If You Want Blood. Just and then of course some of my favorites. Um, I'll get even more chills from. Hey, that could be a good topic we could do. Is show openers. I could get a list down for next week, and we could talk about each opener and rank them or talk about them. We could do that next week. That is a good topic. Perfect. So we got our topic for next week. Thanks to Tyler again. See, he helps without even thinking. He's helping, not even realizing it. Exactly. What if I go, Charlie, and as soon as that car breaks out, it shows the fans. Like I'm gonna be chill standing there before anything starts. Like I'm gonna be teary eyed when I buy a ticket because that's how much I want to see these guys, and that's how much I love these guys. Like as soon as I buy a ticket, I'm gonna be in tears because it will feel not real to me that I'm going to see them. Like I don't know if Charlie, I don't know if you and Tyler both feel the same way, but for me, their music is not just music anymore in my life. Like it is like when I'm driving to work, I'm driving home every day, and I'm listening. It's on my iPod that I still use because of all the live shows I have. It feels way more than music. Like I'm not in my mind, I'm not listening to music. If that makes sense, it's something completely different that I can't explain of how how I feel with it. Or maybe I'm just crazy, but it's it's realistically like a part of life to me now. And most people can't understand that because a lot of people, I don't, yes, people have favorite bands, but it's different when you absolutely love a certain band and the music helps you through life with many different things and it makes you feel many different ways. It's just completely different when you have an actual love for something compared to, Yeah, there's other bands that I listen to. There's other bands, songs that I like, but they're nowhere near how I feel with these guys. Exactly, Tyler, exactly. There's something about them. It doesn't matter if I'm happy, sad, pissed off, frustrated. I could play anything and I'm in a completely better mood. And I can't just sit and listen to the music, like to the song. I physically have to get into the song. Like I can't just sit still and just listen to it. It I gotta be in with it. See, I was just saying that. I'm glad you guys understand, because not everybody understands that from perspective of someone liking a band, or in our case, for me, loving a band. Yes, you discussed that last week, Tyler, and Grant. And I have a different view about that song. I like it. It's different, but that doesn't matter. We're all on the same page with them on them as a whole. So let's make it on the razor's edge, Charlie. For life, I think that's a completely. I'm hoping. I'm pretty sure that's a completely bullshit rumor because Brian didn't seem like he had any problems during the last, you know, their European leg. I'm hoping it's a bullshit rumor because if it is, you can count me out from going because I'm only going if Brian's there. Tyler, I don't even know exactly what album I've listened first, like fully. Like, I don't really remember. Yeah, I mean, Axel can stay in Guns N' Roses, like that's his deal. But I don't want to see him with DC. Like, I want to see Brian. That is someone who I've been waiting to see my whole life. But I'm pretty sure that's just a stupid rumor for those trolls that want to hype Axel up like they were during the Rocker Bus tour. There were so many like accounts and shit that was hyping up Axel the whole time. I'm pretty sure that's where that probably came from. I'm hoping at least. But going back to your, that's interesting because I haven't heard anything like for certain about Axel at all. Because I mean, granted, all those guys on the radios, they'll see one little rumor and then they'll run with it. Yeah, you're right, Charlie. So, so Tyler, going back to the fact that you heard the Razor's Edge first, I don't remember what album I listened to first, like fully. But talking about Ballbreaker, I remember the first time I heard Hard as a Rock, and I was so intrigued in how it sounded. And I was like, this is a song I've never heard before. Like, what is this album? And then I think I proceeded to buy the CD or something. And I'm like, this is good. But I can't for sure say that was the first album I listened to. That's just one that I vividly remember listening to. And I also remember hearing Rock or Bust for the first time. And I went to go buy the CD, and my dad was like, "Are you sure you want to buy this?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, this is, I was 16 at the time, and I'm like, "Yeah, I want this." And then that, a lot of people were mixed on Rock or Bust, but anyway. But really, I can't really remember the first album I fully listened to be honest with you, because I've always listened early in my DC life. I really didn't listen to full albums. I just only knew of the hits, so that's what I listened to. And then the more and more in depth I got into them, is when I found all my favorites. See, for me, the first song I ever heard was "Shoot to Thrill," and that got me hooked immediately because my friend's dad played it. I listened to it. I'm like, what is this music? And where has it been all my life? And after that, I've been probably going on 12, 14 years now being a fan since I first heard that. But I do vividly remember hearing Danger on the radio before I even knew it was them. I'm pretty sure one day I heard Danger on the radio, and because when I first heard Danger again, like as I was getting into him, so I thought to myself, I heard this song before, and I'm pretty sure I heard it when I was really young. I just didn't know who it was. You're right, Charlie. The start of Shoot to Thrill is it's like a build up. Exactly. Like, you have all these guys saying, "Oh, they're easy to play. They're easy to play. They're easy to play." Then you have other musicians who are a fan of them trying to play, and it doesn't sound anywhere close. That's how difficult the riffs actually are. And I'm no musician. I've never once tried to play anything. And I don't think I'm ever going to try to play because I have no musical skills whatsoever. What's that topic, Tyler? Who the heck? You calling me Trevor now? I mean, I've been called worse, so. So that must be good then. That must mean I must be another legend. If you're mixing me up with an admin. But yeah, give me some topics. I like to hear topics. I know we're gonna do. Well, I don't remember what I talked about earlier. Openers. Let me write that down. So I need some topics for some streams coming up because we're gonna do one next Friday after Thanksgiving, unless you guys want to take a week off, and that's if any of you celebrate Thanksgiving. And then we're gonna, like I said, then we're gonna do one every Friday. Interesting. Songs played live better, played slower, normal, faster. Okay, let me write that down. That's when I'm really gonna have to like get some songs. Actually, yeah, songs played live. Normal, fast, slash slower. Yeah, I'll definitely put that on some topics. See, talk about Rosie. I would prefer to hear it like it was in 2000, like during Stiff Upper Lip and Black Ice tour. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that topic later, though. I want to save that for another stream so we actually have something to talk about. Because sometimes I run out of stuff to discuss. A lot of times it's just join in. Let's talk about whatever, really. I just think that 91 Hold on Rosie was played way too quick. Sure, let me write that down too. I like to think of different topics. Worst album covers? Well, I got that down. I'll write that down. True. But yeah, keep your thought, Tyler, for later. I want to wait till we get into that discussion on another stream. Um, best and worst album covers. You know, I probably got my worst, even though I'm probably gonna take heat for it as well. I'm gonna have to think of the best. I can't be biased. I actually got to look at them and actually think which ones is the best. The problem is so many of them are simple and basic. But anyway, we'll get into that conversation one of these Fridays. I actually might do it next week. That might be a good one to do next Friday. See you, Tyler. Thanks for joining at least for a little bit. It's good to see you. It's good to talk with you. Into the equipment things. Please explain to me, Charlie, what you're meaning by equipment things. into, like, personally into, like like me having a guitar type of thing. Oh, I mean, I'm not knowledgeable enough in it to really have an opinion or really have like answers for you. Um, because I personally don't have a guitar or how tuning works, any of that stuff. Um, but it is interesting how they tune each album differently. But I don't have any personal knowledge of that kind of thing. It is interesting why they chose like Marshall amps. Again, I don't know the difference between Marshall or some other amp. I don't know the difference between Sonar drums or any other drum kit. So to really answer that, I can't really give you a good answer because I don't know. Because again, I don't have experience or knowledge in any of it. But if you want to share anything that you may think, please share. You might help me learn a little bit. Also, what one other thing I want to say, I think next week we are going to do the best and worst album covers. So what I want you to do some homework, Charlie. Um, for next Friday, if you can, rank your from worst to best album covers and bring it with you on for next Friday. Because I'm gonna make a list, and we're gonna go from my worst to my favorite. I want to see how the rest of your list rank. So we're gonna go from one, number whatever to number one, and I think that's what we're gonna do next week. Case, you just joined. I'm glad you joined because I was afraid I was going to end tonight without talking to you. I have about 40 minutes until I'm gonna head out, but I got till about basically 8 o'clock my time. Cool, Charlie. If you can do that for next Friday, that'd be great. Case, also update. Next Friday, we're gonna have a stream of ranking best, worst to best. Well, tonight we're talking about the songs, that weren't played very much, and pretty much anything else. But for next week, I want you to make a list of ranking of album covers from worst to best in your opinion. Because next Friday, I'm going to get my list and we're all going to discuss basically one by one of what our worst to our favorite is. So do that for next Friday. Tonight, if we're basically talking about songs that weren't played live often or whatever, if you want to talk about, if you want to throw in any surprises, anything that you think, um, go for it. Mr. Legend Tyler from High Voltage Rock and Roll thought of that idea. So that's what we're going to do next week. weather is nuts here today. It's like half snowing, half raining. It's windy as hell. Windows sound like they're gonna cave in. But Charlie, you're right. Case, I think I'm gonna go just straight international regular album covers. So basically, High Voltage, Dirty Deeds, Let There Be Rock, Power Age. We can go with like If You Want Blood. We can go with the live album if you want. Highway to Hell, Back in Black for those about to rock, Flick of the Switch, 74 Jailbreak, Fly on the Wall, Who Made Who, Blow Up Your Videos, and so on. I think I just want to go do international because some people may not know a whole lot about the Australian ones. We can throw them in as like a bonus. We can discuss them. But I think primarily just do international stuff and just standard album covers. But Charlie, you're right. This band probably has some of the best fan base out of any band I've ever seen. Because, there are some bands that are really fighting with, fans of certain bands that are fighting with each other right now. And, our community really doesn't fight with each other a whole lot. Overall, yes, there's some people who do, but for the most part, we all love the band the same way. We all have respect for the band the same way. And I don't think other bands have that. Right, and I think that's why, case to your point, right, and Charlie, to your point, that's where the fighting's always been, has been at the singers. It's never really been about anything else. And even then, the people who are arguing about the singers are the same people who are living in the past, which we kind of just laugh at those kind of people and leave them back here in the dust. The case to your point, I think that's why a lot of outside fans from other bands give us DC fans a bad rap because they say, oh, it sounds the same. They suck, they do this, they're not good, they're old, they should retire, blah, 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 blah. Okay, big deal. They're old. They can still play. They can still perform. If you don't like the band, then why are you talking about them? Why are you on their fan pages? Why are you on their social accounts commenting on shit? If you don't like them, stay away from them. It's not that hard not to put your 2 cents into a band that you don't like. Like, it's common sense. If you don't like something, you're not going to go after it. You're not going to look at it. And I see it all the time. And I just laugh at it because it's like some of these people who complain about us don't really know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Right. Granted, I didn't like Axel, but I wasn't going to be the guy to start just hating everything just because he joined. Because, like I said last week, you have to respect the fact that Angus himself was the one who chose Axel to fill in. Okay? It's not like Axel just booted Brian out of the band and said, the hell with you, I'm the new guy. We have to have some sort of respect a little bit because Angus, the main man, chose him. So we kind of have to respect the fact that he wanted to keep playing. Granted, I didn't like it, but I'm not going to go out of my way and start bitching about it to everybody under the sun just because me personally doesn't like it. Stevie, he filled in '88, so it was already something that he's already done. And what do you want us to do? Malcolm was sick. Malcolm passed away. What more do you want us to do? Want them to do? You just want them to stop playing? And a lot of people probably would rather them stop playing. I, however, don't. I mean, I'm with you, Case, with the fact that I can respect it to an extent. But it happened. It's over with now. It's past. We can't change nothing about it. The only thing we can do is listen to the shows that Brian sang in and really forget about it. Forget the Axel part, you know? If we want to forget about it, great. If other people want to enjoy it, let them. I don't care. As long as people aren't shoving down my throat, like, you need to like the Axel Rose era. It's like, no, I don't have to. And you don't have to make me like it. You know what I mean? Charlie, exactly. Think about it. Yes, Phil, Cliff, and Malcolm aren't there. But realistically, we're there, you know, in a generic mind. We're there to see Angus and Brian for the most part. I mean, I can be blunt and straight up about it. Most people are going to see Angus and Brian realistically. So in their mind, whoever is filling in isn't going to matter as much because all they want to see is Angus's solos and Brian singing. You know, so they don't really care if they see Matt Log or Stevie or Chris Chaney. They want to see the two-headed dragon of Angus and Brian, and that's why they're paying to see it. And to your other point, yeah, you're not seeing the same energy as the '70s, but how many more times can you go see a rock band legend like them at this point? You gotta go see them. If it's something you haven't done, like myself, you gotta go see them. It doesn't matter. It matters to an extent. Like if Brian wasn't there, I wouldn't be going, obviously. But as long as Brian and Angus are there, most people, most true fans are going to go. And yes, some people probably went to the Axl Rose shows because one, they already bought the tickets, they're not going to cancel. Two, at that point, that was probably the last time people thought you were ever going to see Angus on stage again. Exactly. I'm like Charlie. If I don't care what it is, if it's close, I'm going, and I'm going to make go at least twice, minimum, if I can. I have plenty of money saved up. I'm going to do it. But like going back to the whole fan argument thing, for an example, a band that I've seen with their fans quite recently in a big outrage because of lead singer changing because of a death is Linkin Park. You know, and that's probably true case because I love the Stiff Upper Lip tour. And if people are saying that, it's a good thing. What topic was that, Charlie? Guitar sounds. That could be a good one too. We could go by. I'll write it down. I'll keep that in mind. Let me write that down. Yeah, we could do that sometime too. I personally like Stiff Upper Lip, and I like Black Ice's sound better than Rocker Butts. So I think next week's topic should be interesting. No problem, Case. I probably got 25 minutes or so. Unfortunately, you joined late, so you missed a good portion of the stream tonight. See you, Charlie. I'll see you next week. Which tour had your favorite sound besides Stiff Upper Lip? Honestly, Case, Black Ice. It's another tour that I absolutely love to hear shows by. I there's really no explanation. I just like the Black Ice sound as well. That's also a good one though. To be fair, I mean it's hard to rank this when I like a lot of pretty much everything from Ballbreaker onward for the most part. So it's hard for me to rank them when I love them all basically the same. But, Case, is there anything on the list to the left that you're kind of like surprised by that they didn't play a lot? Also agree with that statement. Yeah, I forgot about that one to put on the list, but it was only played once, along with Playing with Girls, Ride On, First Blood, Landslide. I was trying to put this all together pretty quick, so some things I kind of forgot. Yes, Playing with Girls was only played live once, and that was the opening show of the Fly on the Wall tour in Veterans Memorial in Binghamton, New York. It was played live once along with First Blood in the same show. And honestly, Case, most of that was during 2016. They only played it twice at the very beginning of the Power Up tour. Played it a lot in 16, and then they only played it like 4 times in 1980. So a lot of them playing that live was, like I said, most of it was with Axl, unfortunately. I figured it would have been lower than that. Well, if you think about it, they played it however many times with Brian in 2016 before he had to step down. So right there is at least, I don't know why all the fire alarms are going off. But anyway. Yeah, but most of it they played in 16, which I thought it would have been less than 45, honestly. But what I'm surprised by is how Shot in the Dark and Demon Fire have already surpassed a good chunk of songs already. And I'm sure their numbers are only going to keep increasing. I forgot about Power Trip Festival. You're right. I forget about that one a lot. You're right, Case. I keep forgetting about Power Trip all the time. But yeah, you got Power Trip and then 2 at Gelsenkirchen. You're right. You're right. It was. It's just one that I forget about now. Since the tour actually kind of started in Europe, like I forget about that one. Today's been a long day. It was a cold, wet, snowy, long day. That's true. I don't, I know. Shame on me that I forget about it. But you're right. Cliff's last show, Matt's first show. Steph Bloop came back. You're right. If You Want Blood was an opener. They came in with Riff Raff. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was a key show to kick off this tour. I forget it a lot of times because it is a weaker because it was the first one in 8 years. But it was still good. Don't get me wrong. I was excited to see the set list when the show was over because I was away when it was played. So I couldn't wait to get home when I had service to be able to check the set list, see what they played, and I was astonished that they played 24 songs, which I was like, holy shit. But you're right, it is a good one. True. See, a lot of people were watching that live stream by that individual. I didn't get a chance to do it because again I was gone. Oh yeah, I'm sure the live quality was pixelated, half shitty sound, but at least you got to see it in act, live-ish, I guess you could say. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, Case, I figured we would have heard an announcement by now. With all the rumors saying, oh, it was gonna get released, this week and da 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 da, and we still haven't heard anything. So we really don't know for sure what they're gonna do. We don't even know if that Minneapolis date was the start or the end of the spring. You don't know. Because I heard a rumor that they were only gonna play 10 dates in the U.S. between April and May. But again, that was only a rumor. Oh, okay. That makes more sense now. Because Charlie was saying that on the radios, or was it you? Somebody said that the radio shows were saying about Axel coming in to replace Brian on the North American show. I'm like, that's a complete bullshit fucking rumor, too. Like, Brian obviously didn't look like he needed to be replaced. It's the trolls that want Axel back just to piss the rest of us and annoy the rest of us off. I agree with you, Case. I agree with you. Like he didn't look like. So I don't know where. Again, it's all these damn people who want Axel back. Like all the trolls that came out during Rocker Bus saying, "Oh, Axel's this, Axel that." It's like no. It's like we don't want him. We don't need him. Yeah, I mean, for being 76 or however old he is, I mean, what do you expect from a mid 70s man who has sang his heart out his whole life? He's gonna have hearing problems from racing and playing. Like, let the man just finish his career out. Like, nobody deserves the negativity. Half of bands wish they would still be playing and singing it in their 70s. You know, there's gonna be a day when they are done, and it's gonna be the saddest moment in my life. So I agree. I think when something happens to one of them where they can't do it anymore, that's when it'll be over. I hope that's not soon. But you never know what life will do to anybody, really. But I agree with you. I think they'll be done when something actually happens to one of them. Exactly. That's all we can hope for is things to keep going. You know, could you see them making another album? You know, let's say this Power Up tour ends. Could you see them making another album? Because that would really get me like a kid in a candy store. Yeah, they're gonna have to get this tour over with, make the music. I mean, even if they didn't tour, let's say I got to see them on this tour and they never toured again, I wouldn't be upset if they made another like studio album, because then that's just more music for me to, more songs I get to dive into, you know. But who knows? We'll never know. Like Power Up was a surprise, you know. You don't know with them; they're very quiet, so you don't know what could happen. Same. And then I couldn't wait till it started, and then after May 17th, after that first night in Gelsenkirchen, I knew this shit was real. Like, I'm like, they are back. I might finally get a shot to see them, and I'm still waiting for this North American leg. If they do it, hopefully they do it. They have to do it, or else I'm gonna like, I won't even know what to do if they don't. I mean, granted, the closest thing I'll get to see them live is the live audio that I have. If for whatever reason they don't come anywhere relatively close to me, is it confirmed, like, for sure? Because I haven't seen anything that is officially for sure confirmed. I've seen, like, people saying, oh, they're supposed to announce it, they're supposed to announce this, announce that, but I haven't seen anything, unless I missed something, that was put out there recently. Oh yeah, the Minneapolis show, yeah. But I wasn't sure, yeah, like I said, today's been a long day, and I can't remember anything. Well, yeah, the Minneapolis date, duh. But I also seen people say, was it just them testing something? I'm like, there ain't no way they would put that specific date on a specific location just as a, oh, let's test the events thing on Facebook. It's like, no, they wouldn't have done that just to test something out. That they could have, but that seems kind of, yeah, exactly. Angus, you joined quite late because, unfortunately, because I got like 7 minutes. Unfortunately, that will be my 2 hour time limit. Because then I have some other things I gotta get done tonight, but I figured I'd try to fit this in. But Angus, by the way, if since you're here, I'm gonna tell you this. Next Friday night, I want you to make a list, a ranking list of worst to best album covers for next Friday night stream. Because we are all, hopefully, I'm gonna try to make the stream a little bit later, if I can. If not, it'll be like it was tonight. And then we're gonna go over all that next Friday. What about any South American? I think Australia. That's gotta happen, right? I feel like if they do North America in the spring, they go back to Europe in the summer. I could see them doing Australia like in the fall or over the winter, and then maybe doing South America the following year if they're gonna extend it that long. I don't know. You never know. I probably don't see them doing any Asian shows because they really didn't do anything over there during Rock or Bust, I don't think. I think they just stuck to US, Europe, and Australia. I don't think they've played over in Asia since Black Ice, and they played over there in Osaka and Tokyo. Well, that's also a good question. One, Russia is so sketchy to begin with, the country as a whole, that they probably just stay away from it. And it's probably just not. And the rest of the countries over there probably just aren't big enough marketing wise to really go over there. I mean, realistically, the only place that'd be worthwhile to go is is Japan. You know, Osaka and Tokyo is probably going to be the biggest place to go. And even then, if they do, is it really worth the trip to stop in one country and then leave again? You would think, but I don't. You know, I don't think they've ever played in India. I mean, granted, they played in Bratislava the first time this year for the first time ever. So, I mean, you never know. They could surprise you in playing places that they never played before. In case you're asking good questions that I really can't answer. You'd think they play in like Brazil, Argentina, some of those places down there, but I can't. I can't answer it. They could, but I really don't know. I don't know. But anyway, Case, I think I'm going to end for the night. I gotta come. I don't like to leave, but I have some other things I need to get done tonight. But I'm glad you could join for at least the last 45 minutes. That would be funny. But also, Case, again, thank you for joining. It's been a pleasure. And make sure you get that. Make sure you get your list done for next Friday, because we're gonna go over that whole album cover ranking worst to best, and I'm gonna try to have to think of my list up. But if you can do that, a couple other people are gonna be ready for it too, and hopefully I'm not gonna start the discussion until you guys are in. But if you can do that, I hope you have a great rest of the weekend, a good week coming up, and I will see you next Friday night, ready to go, have some good conversation.